You may be in the process of discovering a gift that life has given you. This gift could be your work, a new school year, becoming a parent, traveling, starting a business, pursuing a new goal, or discovering a new relationship, even though you are at the center of everything that happens to you. Doubt can sometimes begin to stir confusion. You may find yourself standing in front of a high wall, unsure whether you can climb over it or not. When you are so undecided between doing something and not doing it, you begin to question whether this journey is truly right for you. Because of this, you ask yourself, do I really need something like this? Is this really what I want? Focusing too much on this uncertainty causes you to question everything that happens to you. As you try to make sense of it all, you may feel as though you are losing control or drifting in empty space. You may even ignore everything you have achieved so far and believe that you are still only at the very beginning of the road. How should I move forward in my career? Do I really want to be in a relationship with these people? As you dive deeper into this sea of deep decisions without a clear route, you begin to feel tense. This creates an overwhelming sense of agitation and restlessness. Even though there are many more opportunities you could take advantage of, you start to feel as though you have done almost nothing. This feeling arises because every time you need to make a decision, you evaluate everything in order to reach the ideal outcome. You list every possible result and spend weeks, months, even years waiting for the right moment to decide. Even if it delays action, you want to be certain that your decision is correct. After all, you do not want to fail. You have often heard that failure is part of the journey. Even if you agree with this concept, you may not be able to accept that it could happen to you. You might say that what scares you is not failure itself. What truly frightens you is not knowing what you really want. Have you ever noticed that you want too many things at the same time and dislike choosing? If you devote your time and energy to one thing, it means you cannot devote them to the other things you enjoy. You simply want what is best for yourself, and that is reasonable. After all, we are each given only one life, and we are expected to make the best of it. But truthfully, you may have fallen into an unhealthy way of thinking. After waiting 5, 10, even 20 years to decide what is best for yourself, you may have ignored countless wonderful opportunities along the way and become an unhappy person. There is no single right moment when everything becomes clear. You have to start somewhere. As you move, the image of what you truly want will gradually become clearer. You may believe that making the best decision requires time and careful analysis. You may think that every detail must be examined thoroughly, but life is not a problem that can be solved only by talking about it. You have to act. You have to get involved in activities. There was no better way to reach what would bring you to the best point in your life. You cannot avoid the lows, because you rise only by passing through them. Your life is a complex mixture of good and bad, and you must experience all of it. If you sit and think instead of taking action to find the answer to why, you will never find that answer. You have to go through multiple processes filled with trial and error, by trying and struggling with different things. You gain experience in solving problems by eliminating strategies that did not work in the past. There is no rigid rule or formula that fits everyone. In truth, this is not even a formula. All of these are, at their core, attempts to make what is unfamiliar more familiar. So what if you make mistakes? Because you have interacted with them before and learned what not to try, you can give yourself a second chance. The best thing about past decisions is that they make experience possible. No matter which option you chose in the past, it brought you to a different point in your life. because of where you are now. You have discovered different approaches and solutions to overcome problems you face today. Perhaps at times you felt happy, fulfilled, and as though your desires were being met. At other times, you may have felt discouraged, tense, and even thought about giving up. That is what this entire journey is about. Every beginning is difficult. You may be forced to change direction from the path you are currently on. Stepping outside the routine you are used to is hard, because it requires entering an unknown territory. Unless there is a practical solution, nothing will be enough to motivate you to take that step. So here is a good way to begin. The way we talk to ourselves strengthens doubt and uncertainty. When you say, "I don't know what I want to do with my life," you focus all your attention on what you do not know. If you give all your attention to this unhelpful perspective, you will never find what you truly want to do in life. Take some time and write down the things you are certain about. Shift your focus away from what you do not know and direct it toward what you do know. Write down everything you are sure of about your goals, purposes, and desires. What do you know for certain? Perhaps you are clear about wanting to travel to different parts of the world. Perhaps you are certain that you want to start a business. Remember, you do not need to focus on where exactly you will travel or what kind of business you will start. What you need to do is turn doubt, the thought "I don't know what I want," into something real by saying, "I want to travel to different parts of the world." This is how you change the conditions. You take the unknown and turn it into something known. Are you sure you want to start your own business? If your answer is yes, then go and do it. Whether you succeed or fail, no matter what the outcome is, you are on the right path. Because even if it does not work the first time, you will gain enough experience to avoid ineffective strategies and develop new ones as you move forward. This is the mindset you must adopt toward doubt. Everything else is unnecessary to think about. When you truly begin doing things, answers will come to you over time. The critical point is this: when you are not active, you should not overthink or overanalyze. Simply make sure that every action you take aligns with the things you are certain about. If you spend too much time and energy thinking about uncertainty and doubt, you create more space for them to occupy your life. If you fall asleep thinking about them, wake up thinking about them, and give them your energy, they will begin to appear regularly in your life. Think about when you go shopping and like a piece of clothing. What is the first thing you do? You think about whether it will suit you, because you are sure you want it. You try it on. If it does not fit, you ask for another size. But you are still trying the same piece of clothing. You try every size until you find the one that feels comfortable. Why not use this same approach for the things you are sure you want in life? Moving forward through trial and error will help carry you to the place where you feel comfortable in your life. If you fall down, you will stand back up, because you know there is still a long way to go to reach your goal. Think of a child who is learning how to walk. The child falls, but with all the determination in their small body, gets back up and continues trying. At some point, the child realizes that instead of using one hand and one foot, they need to use both hands and both feet to stand. So step forward and give yourself as many trials as you need. All of us will eventually reach the point where, after a certain number of experiences, we find what we truly desire. Each of us has our own rhythm. That is why we must equip ourselves with patience and allow ourselves as many attempts as we need. Because when we are 90 years old, each of us will look back and ask, did we live a life full of "I'm glad I did," or a life made entirely of "I wish I had"? Confuse them with your silence. Most of the time, Our problem as human beings is speaking about things we are not yet ready to reveal to everyone. It seems all of us struggle with this. Often we do it because we want people to know that we have value. We try to make ourselves look bigger. We talk by belittling others, and sometimes we demand respect aggressively. We elevate ourselves as if we were gods. In order to remain in positions of importance, we say everything that can be said, and in the process, we say more than we should. Have you ever thought about the importance of silence? Do you know why? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you can judge when to listen and when to speak. Life can be confusing and demanding. It can shake your balance and give you no reason to be logical. Yet even when you have no control over most situations, waiting a moment before speaking is still within your control. Look at yourself more than you look at others. Speaking too much may give others ammunition to hurt you with your own words. But on the other hand, being mysterious makes people put in extra effort to be close to you. Do not give them tools or reasons to attack. You be comfortable in your conversations and in your thoughts. Let people guess. Let them wonder. Let them stay on edge. If they shout at you, do nothing. Say nothing. When they shout at you without your consent, remain calm and stay silent. You are not doing them a favor. You are doing yourself one. When they want to provoke you and hear not a single word from you, you give them much to think about. You become that child or that person who makes them feel uncertain. Your silence disrupts their confidence and breaks their train of thought about you. They no longer know how to reach you because you have given them no tools and no reason. Like a man who goes to a party with his friends and does not dance. No one laughs at his moves because he never moved. Why not remain silent and work relentlessly for your dreams instead of trying to explain why you are better or why others are wrong? Never forget that you have a goal greater than the circumstances around you. You may have heard the popular saying, "Silence is the best answer to a fool." The people around you do not need to be proven foolish. The essence of walking your own path is for your own good, so why not confuse them with your silence? Why not let them think entirely about you while you stay focused on your goals? No one else is you, and that is precisely what creates the difference. All you need to do is listen. Listen, and let them search for their own voice. Let them struggle to understand you. While you live your life fully, what could be more entertaining than giving people no negative information about yourself? And so, another 12 months of opportunities and challenges come to an end. You had days to strive, days to make the best use of what was given to you. You had time, but how did you use it? Did you recognize its value and use it wisely, or did you let everything simply happen on its own? Our lives are shaped by our actions. The path we choose is the result of the knowledge we possess, and how we use that knowledge, whether we move toward a better place in life, depends entirely on the choices we make and the decisions we take. What did you choose this year to improve your life? What decisions did you make that helped not only you, but also the people around you grow? Each year we live is proof that life wants us to accomplish something on this planet. Even when things do not go as planned, and we feel anger or disappointment, life continues to give us more days and months. It waits for us to act, to explore, to learn, and to dive as deeply as possible into understanding what this earthly experience truly means. How did you live your days and months? How deeply did you explore your life this past year? Every day that our lungs are given more air is a gift we can easily take for granted. Sometimes, We forget to be grateful for the small things and focus, instead, on external pleasures that will never truly satisfy us. Are you grateful for the year that is coming to an end? Did you recognize the value of the small things life gave you? Health, breath, and energy? All the experiences you accumulated in the past. 12 months form the foundation upon which the new year will be built. Everything you do now creates the environment for your future. Every action you took and the way you took it created the path that brought you here, to the doorstep of this new beginning. Are you proud of the foundations you built? Were you grateful for the resources that helped you build them? If you remain in the same place, you will never move forward. Better results always come from better actions. If you acquire better information to help you understand this constantly changing world, you will be able to act better. Did you learn something new this year? Did it lead you to a deeper understanding of the world you live in? What lessons did you take with you to pass the tests the new year will bring? If you close your eyes now and think about your life over the past year, what memories appear before you? Do they make you smile and fill you with a sense of satisfaction? Or do they make you feel embarrassed and anxious, as if you would rather let them fade into the past? The choices you made cannot be changed, but here you are now, standing in a new order of life. You are being given the chance to do things differently and achieve different results. Are you ready to welcome this new year with an open mind and an open heart? Are you ready to focus and concentrate on what truly matters? Perhaps you did not have the courage to evaluate every opportunity and turn it into something meaningful. But now you can. What if you allowed the opinions of others to be carried away by the wind and stood firm by trusting what you believe in and value? What if you put yourself at the forefront and invested in the dreams your heart longs for? What if you committed yourself deeply to a field that makes you feel happy and fulfilled while working in it? What if you worked relentlessly to become the #1 person in your field? What if you read more and learned more from those who have tasted success? We are surrounded by life in every shape, size, level, and form. We are exposed to an immense amount of information. What if this year you decided to open your mind and accept that there is still so much more for you to learn? What if you decided that this year would be a 12-month preparation period for the next level you want to reach? Your life will improve only when you decide that the time to act has come. You already possess all the tools you need to make it happen. Is there something you could do this year that would completely change your life for the better? What is stopping you from making this new year better than the one that is ending? One day, a child goes to his father and asks, "Father, what is the value of my life?" The father gives him a stone and says, "My son, if you want to understand the value of your life, take this stone and go to the grocery store. If someone asks its price, say nothing, just raise 2 fingers." The boy does as his father says and goes to the store. As he walks around, an elderly woman suddenly approaches him and asks, "How much is this stone?" The boy says nothing and raises 2 fingers. $2. The woman asks, "I'll take it." The boy is surprised and returns to his father. "Father, there was an old woman at the store. She wanted to buy the stone for $2, he says. The father replies, "My son, now go to the museum. If someone asks its price, say nothing, just raise 2 fingers." The boy takes the stone and heads to the museum. About 20 minutes later, a middle-aged man approaches him and asks, "How much is this stone?" The boy says nothing and raises 2 fingers. $200. The man asks, "I'll buy it." The boy is astonished and runs home to his father. "Father, the man at the museum wanted to buy the stone for $200. The father says, "Good. Now take the stone to a jewelry shop. Go inside with it, and if anyone asks its price, say nothing. Just raise 2 fingers." The boy goes to the jewelry shop. As soon as the old jeweler sees the stone, he jumps to his feet. "My God, this is the stone I have been searching for all my life," he exclaims. "How much do you want for it?" The boy says nothing and raises 2 fingers. The old man begins to shout with excitement. The boy can hardly believe it. He runs back to his father. "Father, the jeweler offered $200,000 for the stone." The father looks at his son and says, "Now do you understand the value of your life? Life is about where you place yourself. You can choose to be a $2 stone or a $200,000 stone. There are people who love you, people for whom you mean a great deal, and there are people who will treat you like an object. To them, you mean nothing. The value of your life is something only you can decide, my son. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or, being lied about, do not deal in lies, or, being hated, do not give way to hating, and yet do not look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those 2 impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of perchance, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. I will teach you how to think. The greatest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not intelligence, not IQ, it is the way they think. I am not talking about being smart. I am talking about how you and I think. Successful people think differently than unsuccessful people. Thinking well for one night leads to a good and proper life. Thinking foolishly leads to a wrong life. If you want a full life, you must fill your mind with the right things. Right now, you must focus on today. What many leaders understand is that the most important thing is today. We exaggerate what we can do tomorrow. We exaggerate what we did yesterday. But we underestimate what we can do right now. The only moment you and I truly have is this moment. So the only real question is, what am I doing with my present moment? Goodness is found in the present moment. And that is why those who live it fully live life to the very end. If you want to glance into the distance, take a small look, but then return immediately to the present moment, because today is where you work to make tomorrow a success. There are no limits to what you can achieve except the limits you place. In your own mind, it will be difficult, but difficult does not mean impossible. Nothing will come to you unless you commit yourself. If you only try without true commitment, you will reach nothing. If you only think, you will reach nothing. Once you take the first step into action and set your direction, everything begins to flow toward you. Be aware of your potential possibilities beyond your level of commitment. Stay in the process long enough to see whether it truly serves you. You can write your goals with a pen, but you will reach them with your legs. You must act. What separates us is action. The greatest difference in this world is the difference between knowing and doing. Knowing is setting the goal. Doing is reaching it. People who have shaped their mindset say that it takes 30 days for something to become a habit. Habits can be good or bad. Over time, you develop habits that either help you or harm you. People who grow develop habits that serve them. The value of a good habit is that you no longer have to think about it. That is why it is called a habit. In other words, when you begin doing something good after days, months, and time, it becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. I often tell people, repeat a good habit until it becomes yours. And once it is yours, it becomes automatic. Everything worth doing often feels difficult. This is a fact. You have never heard anyone speak of a great success that was achieved by accident. You have never asked someone who reached the top of a mountain, "How did you do it?" and heard them reply, "I have no idea." They know how they got there because they had to climb the mountain. No one carried them. There was no shortcut, no elevator, no escalator. What took you to the summit was effort. What I want you to understand is this: inspiration works best when it is supported by sweat. Many people want inspiration for great things, but they do not want to work hard to reach them. They want to hold the rose without being pricked by the thorn. That is not possible. If you hold the rose, the thorn will prick you. A factory once needed help with a complicated machine. After struggling for days, they called in an experienced master. The master arrived, examined the machine carefully, took a hammer from his bag, and struck a single precise blow. The machine immediately began to work. The factory owner was relieved, until he received the bill, $10,000. Outraged, he demanded an explanation. What could possibly cost $10,000 for one strike? The master replied, $1 for hitting the machine, $9,999 for knowing exactly where to hit. Life works the same way. Effort without direction is exhaustion. Effort guided by knowledge creates value. You can work endlessly, but if you are working in the wrong place, you will only wear yourself out. Working harder does not always mean working better. Sometimes what you need is not more strength, but more understanding. Balance is what keeps you moving forward without burning yourself out. There is a fine line between discipline and self-destruction. Discipline builds you. Self-destruction consumes you. True progress comes from knowing when to push and when to rest. The mind, like the body, needs recovery. If you never pause, you will lose clarity. Clarity is what allows effort to become meaningful. You do not need to prove your worth by destroying yourself. Your value is not measured by how much pain you can endure. It is measured by what you can create without losing yourself. Work hard, but do not forget to live, because a life spent only working is not a full life. The goal is not to arrive exhausted, but to arrive whole.